The world needs freedom now more than ever. What a cliche to start tonight's episode of Adam versus the Man with, right? Every champion of a cause will say, yes, now more than ever is the time to listen to me. But no, really, for real. And actually, more so as a feature of humanity accelerating. We need freedom more than ever. And tomorrow, we will need freedom more than we need it today, more than we needed it yesterday. And what I mean by that, it requires, in order to understand an explanation of what I mean by freedom here, right? Because as a libertarian, we define freedom as a state in which ethics is respected, right? When your self-ownership is respected, when there is no force, fraud, or coercion in society against you, you are free. When that is universal, we have a voluntary society. We have a free world. We have an ethical society. A lot of people define freedom in different ways, but for me as a voluntarist, for most of us who call ourselves libertarian, that's what it means. Ethics, ethics, ethics. So when I say we need ethics now more than ever, is that really true? No, I think, maybe during World War II, when we were like murdering each other in large numbers, we really could have used ethics then. World War I would have been another good time for ethics. The Crusades, the Inquisition, slavery, Civil War, the era of Genghis Khan. You can go back to all of the atrocities of humanity and say, yes, we could have used a sense of ethics during that time. But there's a certain thing that I want to point out and why I'm saying this now, because we are radically accelerating the human experience. And in my book, Freedom, you can see me describe this as the asymptote of the human experience, this acceleration. Things go, from this exponential growth curve that looks flat for so many years. You think about the course of human history, from the point at which we evolved to be Homo sapiens, perhaps, right? That the state of nature we lived in for a long time until the agriculture and the Industrial Revolution. I mean, historically speaking, what I'm describing is the blink of an eye, and the internet age is the start of the blink of the eye. It's insignificant time-wise. We are so blessed. We should be so grateful that we get to be alive now. The gift of human consciousness has been described as the universe becoming aware of itself, right? And in a way, our ancestors had that, but now more than ever, as we expand our awareness, as we expand the potential of human consciousness, the gift is something that it's never been in human history, and it's accelerating. It's going to be more and more and more. We see that what we are in right now, what is it? Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum describes as the fourth industrial revolution, because there is an incredible synthesis of all of these massive economic forces driving the human experience right now that is synergistic. It's not linear anymore. It is undeniably, clearly exponential. And there are certain things that we need to look back in history to understand about this now accelerating trend in the nature of technology as being fundamentally empowering. Because throughout human history, technology, we have seen, has been used both to very positive and negative ends. Technology, kind of requires a definition in and of itself. So the mechanical application of scientific understanding, right? In that sense, our understanding of human knowledge, there have been chunks of knowledge lost over the eons, but fundamentally it grows. We get better. We get more capable. The more capable we are, of creation, we are also more capable of destruction. And optimistic about the inevitability of human progress and our acceleration towards a voluntary society. We always have to include the caveats. Well, that is if we don't get, the gray goose scenario where microscopic robots that can assimilate all matter and act like a virus and create more of themselves. Just turn the planet into gray goo. Yeah, okay. Barring that, barring nuclear war, we all blow ourselves up. Okay, barring things like that, let the Earth a meteor or some other, who knows, right? But even though there are some natural caveats like, a virus, like a real one, I mean, like a real threat of a virus, right? There could be those natural things that interrupt this asymptote, this acceleration of the human experience. But the bigger threats that should concern us are the ones that we can control. And this is why guiding us into the new era, libertarian ethics, in this cliche sense of the phrase, are needed more than ever. Because it's a new fear. And just as technology cuts both ways in terms of liberation and empowerment of the common people, we have seen throughout history as well that it can be used for control and massive murder and destruction. And as we see technologies like 3D printing, artificial intelligence, Bitcoin, blockchain, all the distributed technologies, the decentralization, I mean, part of me just has confidence in the technology itself to encourage us to be more ethical. Some Bitcoin enthusiasts, and I would count myself among them, say that we might be on an evolutionary path from Homo erectus to Homo sapiens to Homo Bitcoinicus, or their various rhetorical variations on the theme, but that a decentralized society driven by blockchain technology, by Bitcoin, by decentralized money, something that it requires trust and inherently encourages decentralization and ethical behavior, is going to lead us inevitably by market forces, by incentive, to a voluntary society. And I have that optimism. And when I look back at the section of freedom talking about this, the asymptote, the acceleration of the human experience, I wrote that in 2013, right? Or started when I was in jail. What year was that?
Which time?
For the shotgun, that was 2014? 2013, I was in jail. 2014, we released the book. And even back then, my sense of that acceleration was not particularly unique. There are a lot of people who go, hey, do you see this? Like, hey, pause for a second. We're about to defeat aging and be flying around on quadcopters and be all hooked up to the hive mind. We're going to expand the capacity of the human brain beyond its ability today to even conceive what that means. Stop. And there's something so powerful about this. And yeah, can I get through this segment without mentioning psychedelics? No, of course not. There's something about the empowerment of the perspective, but even in what I describe as this overwhelming sensation that everything is right in the universe, every molecule is in its place, every person, every thought, everything Every wave of energy is exactly as it should be. We can give everybody that. We can at least give everybody that better way to live as a human, in your brain, in your body, in this vehicle to life, to back to the idea of the gift of human consciousness being the universe becoming aware of itself. I think back to having written that idea, that section of the book called The Asymptote in 2013, 2014. And there's something about the pride of authorship, the ego that wants me to say, look, I saw it first, but no, I fucking didn't, not even close. There have been people in the shamanic tradition going back literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years, who looked at the stars and said, our destiny is not here on this rock even. To think that this is inherent to the human experience. And I guess each of us as individuals, we have the choice then. In facing this incredible human experience that we are in right now with fear or love. So to bring it back to the thing, right, where we need libertarianism now more than ever. No, but it is particularly relevant in the face of this rapidly accelerating human experience that we are all going through.